Look at all the little teeny fucking pieces.
Oh, it gets worse.
Where are you at with whatever the fuck you're doing?
I'm halfway through.
No, you're not.
I got the whole base here.
The whole base, you got a whole house to build and I'm the asshole? What are you talking about?
Welcome to Building Friendships. I'm your host, John Sosis, and we have a amazing special guest. I've been terrified to ask this person to do this for 2 years, but he's here for a little bit and we're going to do it. He's an actor. He's a podcaster. He's a comic. One of my favorite comics, the one and only Marc Maron.
Thank you, man.
How's it going, bud?
I'm all right. I just don't...
All right.
I'm okay, man. How are you? So this is
I'm
it?
good. This is it.
You've been
asking
leaving?
me for 2 months when my last day is.
I mean, it's getting ridiculous.
Tuesday. I know. Well, listen, the way I do it is I'm going to give you 3 months notice, try to hire somebody good to replace me.
I want
you to take your time. I want you to take your time. And the next day I was like, well, we're bringing in this guy. I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, it happened too quick?
I mean, for me, I was like, could you have interviewed one other person? Like, let's compare people. But it is what it is. How are you doing? I mean, the strike is happening.
Well, I mean, I don't think it really affects me that much. I mean, I do the podcast, I do stand up, so, I mean, I'm not beholden to acting or writing for my gig, What are you building?
So since we're in the Comedy Store, I will be building a haunted mansion from Disney, and Marc, just for reference, is going to be building the Fender Strat.
I bailed on the stand. I mean, it's like there's 12 pages of building a guitar stand.
Listen, you're going to take it home, and you're going to say the same thing everybody else does. This was the most relaxing thing you've done.
Am I?
Yeah, I think you will want to build it because it's a pretty cool set, and you're going to realize how relaxing it actually is. But the reason I got you this is because you're an insane guitarist.
I do all right.
Was that like a dream at some point?
I don't know if it was really. I think it was more, this is a whole different piece. I think it was more like, I guess it was a dream, but it was more like I just played, and at some point, like I never, from very early on, I never really kind of made an effort to be a rock star in any way,
Were you self-taught?
No, I had a couple of teachers.
Okay.
Oh God, this is complicated.
Because when I came out here, I had no idea you played guitar, obviously, and I knew you. You were one of the few comics I knew from out here that were New York guys at some point, because I used to see you in New York.
Yeah.
And so when did you make the move out here? Like 2009, 10?
How is this like a problem? Like, all right, so 3, that's what this is. Okay, then is that what that is? I came out here probably 2002, and I didn't feel like I was known necessarily or had any, kind of juice in the game. And I was doing a lot of alt shows. Oh, that's not right. And, and Tommy let me in here. And, but there were, I guess my reputation preceded me here. Like, people were reading the book, The Jerusalem Syndrome. That seemed to be out in the world a bit. I
used to see you on lineups all the time in New York. And then I also knew you from the talk shows.
Right, from Conan and everything
You were doing Conan
else.
A bunch.
Yeah, I mean, I was a known guy. But
yeah.
I was a door guy here when I was a kid, back in the 80s for a couple of years. And, I had a fairly notorious time with Kennison and those guys. So I was pretty haunted by this place for many years. And when I came back, I didn't feel like, I knew I was a regular.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what it meant, And then Tommy kind of knew me. And then, Duncan, actually got my name up on the wall, which was a pretty big deal. And, it just kind of went from there. And then I just became, I was around, and it was good. I was doing alt shows and I was doing shows here.
And what year did you start the pod?
Crazy, dude. Huh?
What year did you start the podcast?
I started the podcast 2009, I believe it was.
Okay, so I would say that's the thing that when people think of podcasts, they say Marc Maron. I mean, they say either Marc Maron or Joe Rogan, depending on.
Yeah, depending on, their sensibility, to
Yeah.
put it nicely, I guess.
That's the nicest way you could put it.
Yeah.
But I was terrified to even talk to you here because it's.
Is that what it was? Because I thought I just, didn't like you.
I think you
you
didn't
were-
like me. But also, I was terrified that in case you were indifferent to me, I wanted to stay at 0. I didn't want you to say I was great, and I didn't want you to say, that guy's annoying. He keeps asking me to do the basement podcast.
Oh, yeah. No, you didn't ask me to do anything. Just give me weird looks all the time. And I just assumed you were some kind of, opportunistic monster.
I don't know if we could promote your special, but he has a new special from Bleak to Dark, and it's fucking hilarious. And one of my favorite things, there are 2 comics here that I've loved watching as many sets as I could to see how you molded into what you film.
Oh, yeah.
It was you and Anthony Jeselnik, because I feel like you guys are 2 very different comics, but he's someone that can take his setup punchline and just move them around wherever he wants. And then you're someone who has the storytelling to it. And it's just been amazing for 2 years to get to watch that, just to kiss your ass a little bit.
Okay.
But what's your process for writing? Do you actually sit down and write, or are you someone that uses the podcast to come up with premises through discussion?
What, you mean in terms of comedy?
Yeah, like do you have the ability? Because I speak to a lot of comics who can't sit down and say, "Oh, 3 o'clock on Monday, I'm going to write for 4 hours."
No, I don't do that. I don't do that. I generally write down ideas, and then, I'll get on stage and I'll start talking about them. I don't really know how the process works. There's some sort of magic to it. Like the stuff is usually delivered to me on stage, and it kind of forms itself on stage. So that's always been the way I've done it, which is, whatever. It's not for everybody, and there's probably more efficient ways to do it. But that's always been the way I've done it.
Do you find that the podcast has helped with a lot of that? Because again,
for sure. I mean, the podcast, well, why doesn't mine look like that exactly? I feel like there's an issue.
I mean, that's the beauty of this.
I'm not seeing the beauty of it quite yet. It didn't help me talk to people, but it definitely helped me. How come there's a gap? Is there? Oh. But it definitely helped me, work material out.
Yeah.
Because I would, something's not quite right. All right, whatever. Where's that thing? Oh, here. Because I would improvise at the beginning.
Yeah.
And that would sort of, free me up. It would like, some of the stuff I talked about on the podcast, I would be able to make into, bits.
Yeah.
So it definitely helped in that way.
Out of all your interviews, is there someone you wish you could go back and redo?
I don't know. I don't think so. Not really. I mean, there was probably times I could have been a little better informed, but a lot of times I'll do interviews with people that, I may not necessarily be that big of a fan of, but I'll what the fuck is this now? But I'll do it anyway. And I think sometimes over time, I might become bigger fans of theirs, and then wish I would have known more about them when I had done it, or I would have appreciated them more.
Yeah, that makes sense. You do a bit now. I'm not going to get into it, but it's really funny, and it's about a guest. Do you get nervous when you do something like that? You have an interview, and then you
with Ice Cube. I don't know. I mean, I hope nothing happens.
I mean, I don't think anything's going to happen, but it's just you're taking a guest and you're kind of using the guests themselves as a big part of the bit, and it's so fucking funny
I think he'll handle it. I think he can take it. I think he's had worse heat than me.
One of the things I respect right now about you and your podcast specifically is that you still don't do video.
No, I know.
You don't do video. And I mean, you see what it can do. Your Barbie review blew up.
That's true. It's just the truth is, the guy I work with who is, 50% of the operation and a real brilliant guy who, is my producer and business partner.
Yeah.
We didn't set out to do video. Video is a different operation. He's we're audio guys. And, I obviously could do video, but it's just not, he could not necessarily.
Got it.
And, he doesn't want to because he thinks that, we do something special as opposed to whatever this is, and I'm not trying to be a dick or anything.
No, I honestly, that's one of the things I appreciate about your podcast. You make it very clear it's an audio podcast. You either listen to it or you don't see it.
My God.
I'm not going to lie. I thought you'd be better at it than this. It doesn't look bad. It just seems like you're struggling more than you want to be.
Do you know how complicated this one is? It's got a fucking stand. Then you got to build a
But you
whole...
skipped the stand. The stand's not an issue
I know, but the whole guitar. Look at all the little teeny fucking pieces.
Oh, it gets worse.
Where are you at with whatever the fuck you're doing?
I'm halfway through.
No, you're not.
I got the whole bass here.
The whole base, you got a whole house to build and I'm the asshole? What are you talking about? You thought I'd be better at it. How is this there's no better. No, there's no race here, but I'm building a guitar. You've got the foundation of a house and you're like, man, I'm way ahead of you. No, you're not. I don't even know what that is yet. You can kind of see this is a guitar. Jesus Christ.
Last question, because you have to get back to the main room, and I appreciate you doing this. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
I wouldn't give a shit about my weight.
Is that a big deal to you?
Yeah.
Because I know you were getting a lot of compliments in the hallway, but I never noticed that you were...
Well, I'm not, but that comes with a lot of stress and aggravation. So wait, so now if I don't finish this, then what happens?
You get to take it home, and whenever you're bored, you go at it.
Oh my God. What goes
I mean, if we want to stay down here and finish it, we're never leaving. So
yeah, these
not
are
because you're bad at it, just because it's a lot. It's an adult set.
Oh, so this is the grown-up set. Why couldn't you have gotten me like the
Because I saw a guitar and I'm like, I'm getting Marc Maron. If Marc Maron's going to do
I think
this,
that was thoughtful.
Yeah, I'm getting him a guitar.
I could have knocked out a fucking little car or something.
Oh yeah, but you're better than that. We're getting you a guitar.
Am I better than that?
You have a guitar and an amp. You have a long way to go.
There's an amp too?
Yeah. Oh, you got a way to go.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to do this at home. I look how complicated just this piece is.
Yeah, but it looks pretty cool, and it's got the Fender on there. Come on.
Yeah, come on.
All right, Marc, where can they find you?
Right here for now. You can find me at the Comedy Store most of the time. WTFpod.com or is usually a place you can find me.
Thank you for doing this.
I fucked this up somehow.
No, it looks great.
No. This needs to go over here. It's not a huge fuck up. And now
you are doing better than everyone. That's all 20 people that have done this.
That's not true.
I swear to God. I mean, there are people, really smart people who just gave up in the beginning.
Really smart people?
Yes. I consider, not to shit on Fahim, I consider Fahim one of the smartest people I know. But you know why that is?
Because really smart people don't do this.
Debatable. But he put, to put it in music terms, he said it's the same thing as the same muscle as trying to sing and play an instrument at the same time, which I would never even think of doing. It was difficult to talk and do this at the same time.
I see. Yeah.
Where you pretty much crushed it for the time we had. So thank you very much. Follow me at Saint Ain't Sosis. Follow Building Friendship series, and we'll be back with another episode at some point.
Look. What are you talking about? I didn't make progress.
I was just giving you shit.
But unfortunately,
it looks fucking great.
It's still not correct because, is it? Oh, maybe it is. But why is the fretboard on the other side? All right, look, it looks like the picture. So
if it looks like the picture, I'm sure you did it fine.
Oh man, I gotta go do a spot.